nonpartisan independence with our own plan and our own narrative. But for whatever reason, you got Senator Clyburn. Y'all know Joe. We know Joe and Joe know us. But never again. Fear. And let me close out with this. This whole vote for the lesser of the two evils. Now, if you went into the ballot box and you voted for Joe Biden under that pretext or pretense, then you need to get on your knees and repent. Because clearly right now, you guys are the reason. If you voted for Joe Biden, it's your fault. We're not going to blame him anymore. Vice President Harris said yesterday that the American people got what they asked for. Yeah, the American people got what we asked for. And whoever is our leaders is no longer our leaders anymore. Whoever our influencers are no longer our influencers. And whoever legislate for us are all under subjection. President Joe Biden is compromised. President Zelensky is basically saying that he is the leader of the free world. He putting the free world. He putting Joe Biden out on blast right now. And I'm just being totally brutally honest with you because it's factual information. So let me close with this. Lesser of the two evils. No such a thing. Lesser of the two evils. Lesser of the two evils. Evil is evil. Only a demonic evil person, party, group will tell you to do such a thing. Because voting for evil is still voting for evil. But what about the lesser of the two evils? There's no such a thing. And this is what it is. Don't vote for Lucifer. Trump is Lucifer. Don't vote for 45. He Lucifer. But if you look at what Trump did for America, it's way better than this. We didn't ask for this. According to Kamala Harris, I didn't. You did because you voted for her and him. Jim Crow Joe and the bedwench and concubine. We have to be honest with ourselves. We don't want to team up with the enemy. We understand laws of powers. We understand that. But we could play both sides. And we could lobby both sides. And we could have both sides appealing to us if we're smart. Only if we stop leading the older generation, because they was the ones who told us to vote for the lesser of the two evils because Joe know us and we know Joe. But if you look at history, Joe Biden knows us, but he don't love us. He's a segregationist. He's never voted for a civil rights policy in favor of blacks until after the fact. The 94 crime bill was one of the most racist crime bills in American history. And it looks like they're going to do it again under his tutelage. This is why we have to really vet Karen Bass, because she is an established. She's a part of the establishment. Lesser of the two evils. Trump is Lucifer. Don't vote for him. Don't talk to him. He said, what y'all got to lose? Well, clearly we had a whole lot to lose, because just 1 year after voting for the other side, America is worse than it's ever been in modern history. From a inflation perspective, gas perspective, oil, energy, crime. And last time that this happened, we was thrown under the bus and pushed back for another 40, 50 years. And this is not going to happen. So there's no way we can vote for the lesser of two evils. We reject that. Build Back Better is a failure. So build back, meaning you have to demolition the project before you build back. And then you have to get another 4 years if you're thinking about building back. Lesser of the two evils. It's like, don't vote for Trump because Trump is a wolf. He's going to kill you. And then you vote for Biden and you get slapped upside the face on the first day he's in office by the grizzly bear. But there's voting for the lesser of the two evils. There's no such a thing. Case in point. I'm going to close with this. Close your mouth, because it's like this. Don't vote for Lucifer. Trump is Lucifer. Vote for Satan. They told us to not vote for Lucifer, so we elected Satan. And this is what Satan looks like running a country. This is what it looks like with Satan in control. This is what it looks like when Satan is making all the decisions. Look at all the lies and deceit. This is not a Vladimir Putin gas hike. This is a plan. They got Joe Biden on record saying everything. He talked about fossil fuel. And he said during the primaries that he was going to eliminate it. I'm going to eliminate it. I'm going to phase it out. Okay, well, phasing it out looked like you unplugged it. So are we going to start the engines back up? What are we going to do? Listen, we reject the lesser of the two evils. We don't want to vote for Satan or Lucifer, because clearly the Biden administration is catastrophic, not only to America, but to the American people. The Democratic Party clearly is compromised. Joe Biden is a president of the United Allies. Joe Biden will not defend Ukraine because of the cheating on both sides. He's giving Zelensky money to keep his mouth shut. He's giving him just enough to keep his mouth shut, just enough to cut a peace deal, just enough to build back better. The world is watching. The world needs the Democratic Party to make a move. The Democratic Party is not American. The Democratic Party sides with any and everything outside of America. And the proof is in the pudding. And we cannot sit back and let, another generation ruin our generation. We cannot let some bad people spoil what we're trying to do. This is why we have to understand and get on the same sheet of music. A better Black America is a better America for all. We're hijacking the word conservative. Conservative is to conserve what we have. That's all. We want to conserve our spirituality. We want to conserve our nuclear Black family. We want to conserve our children because they are the future. And we have to do it from an independent, nonpartisan perspective, because clearly if we choose a side, we're on the back of the bus, because if something happens, we're not getting on first. So if we don't have our own exit plan, if we don't have our own agenda, if we don't own our own narrative, then that means we're going to get sucked up and we're going to basically continue to be in this divisive system of racism, the cycle of another generation locked up, another generation murdered. The national news does not talk about what's going on in Chicago. The local news don't even talk about what's going on in our own cities. To find out the homicide and what happened, we have to get apps, news, breaking news and news apps and all of this stuff to know what's going on, because they are told to put the Ukraine war as the main topic of discussion for the ratings. Just like when the coronavirus, some channels was, had the death count. So now the big thing is the world war is a war in Ukraine. And clearly Zelensky is the pawn trying to get America into it, because they want America to basically shut down what they already know is a grand rising of the mostly spiritually inclined people, because we're living in those biblical times right now and they're creating their history. So if we don't understand this, how important it is for us to not only love ourselves, but love the country that we have been born in, and the country that we literally will inherit because we were brought over here against our will. So it may seem funny and strange, but we living in some times right now. And those times has caught up. And we're not going to sit back and, do none of that, because when President Zelensky talking about, I have a dream. Listen, factual information, Dr. King's dream never came into fruition. Never came into fruition, and the world know that. So the only hope we have here in America is for Generation X to pick up the mantle and finish the job. It's on us. Fear and the spirit of it is worse than the assassin's bullet. This is why we're doing and not asking, about getting the approval, from our enemy. Fear and the spirit of it. Now, our baby boomers will die stranded on second base if they have not died already. And we're cool with it. It's on our generation to advance the race so we can have skin in the game, so we can be a part of America. Fear, compliance, assimilation, which is actually a pipe dream. Assimilation means dissimulation. You put a brother in there and you dissimulate because the pipe dream. They warn me daily not to think freely. They warn me daily and try to teach not only me, but us to live in fear and bondage. Because if the best advice you could give somebody that's striving to do something is to tell them a catastrophic event as to why that another person had failed, and who are you to have the audacity to try to do it again? Well, we literally know God. Y'all believers, we knowers. We living in a time where you just can't do what you used to do. People are not that mean, rude, and evil like they used to be. And I guarantee you, although the focus is on the global aspect of it, this is why we get an opportunity to make a move. We can and we will. So go to conservativesofamerica.org-COA. That's conservativesofamerica-COA. conservativesofamerica-COA.org. We'll take your pennies because, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And best nation is donations. So we'll take your pennies. We're one of the cheapest nonprofit organizations in the world, but we're going to be the most impactful when it comes to liberating a special group of sovereign people. And this is our assignment because we are nonpartisan independent. We're getting skin in the game, and we're going to have an agenda that any politician, local, federal level, is going to have to address, because there's some things that's on the books. And I'm going to say this. Nobody in the world has ever thought about righting the wrong that Andrew Johnson did back in 1865 when he put in the criminalization clause, which actually rebuilt the South on free labor. And then we have all of the evidence to put a case against America because we have been affected. When you stop a generation, you really stop and halt a lot of things. When you shut down a whole town like Greenwood, you're shooting down the economic aspect of it. When you stop water from going through Central California, you put it around the coast, then you stop us from building our own cities in Central California. So we have a case, and it's going to be a class action lawsuit type of case because we all have to be on board. And this is all about race because the black race is looking to receive our gold medal. We're not asking. Caucasians got the silver globally. Mongolians got the bronze. Now, the black men, it's time for the music to start playing. And it's time for us to get on that pedestal and raise our fists because we are the champions. That's right. We are the champions. Because in these days and times, all of this is predicated on keeping us distracted so we won't do what we need to do. And like I said, keep tapping in. And we got the B.O. Glover Show, Sports, Politics, and Money. I've been breaking them up, so be on the lookout for that. And we're going to be vamping up the YouTube channel this week with some content towards the weekend. A Better Black America TV on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to that. So this has been a Better Black America podcast, the #1 urban podcast, stateside and worldwide. Peace out.